Hello and welcome back to SNHU Esports live from the Connection Esports Arena. My name is Sholey. You can call me Sham. Joined here with Kresnik,
yes,
coach of our Overwatch team. How's it going tonight?
Going pretty good. I'm excited to watch us play here. I think scrims recently for us have been fun to watch. Some new stuff here, so I'm excited to see how it looks on the stage.
Sapphire has been, I think, maybe my favorite team in the lineup we have here to watch recently. Just some of their matches have been absolutely insane. So
I was at home screaming last week.
Last week was a wild match. So I definitely, the season is looking great for Sapphire coming right out of the gate. And that's really exciting to see it. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our map overview and see what's coming up first for tonight, and it will be Ilios.
Yeah, Toronto Silver must have done some scouting. I'm assuming they saw what happened on the Antarctic Peninsula incident of last week, Map 5. So they got rid of that, and Sapphire decided to go Ilios. And I think this is part of kind of what some of the stuff they've been workshopping. I'm not going to talk about it too openly because I know other teams watch these VODs. I'm not stupid. I watch the VODs too.
Tell me all your secrets.
No, I don't think I'm going to do that. But I think some of the stuff that they've been working on should shine on this map, and it's not one that we've normally prioritized in the past. I mean, you saw a lot of in previous weeks, a lot of leaning towards Lijiang, obviously in the last game leaning a little bit towards Antarctic. But Ilios, obviously, it's a map with a lot of environmentals, but it's a map with a lot of long walks to point that put you in really weird open sightlines. Literally, no matter which one you're on. I mean, giant downhill slope. You look at Lighthouse, you have that kind of line all the way to the spawn tunnel that you can see in Ruins.
Right.
I mean, it's one of the only King of the Hill sniper maps you can play. Control sniper maps you can play.
So in the last few weeks, you mentioned this, we've seen kind of a departure away from the Lijiang starts that we normally see in these sets. I mean, I think pretty much for the last 2 semesters, we pretty much saw Lijiang as the first map in every single set. So what's kind of the idea in shifting away from that?
Well, Busan's gone.
That's true.
So we had to start working on another control map because Busan, obviously, I mean, you've casted so many Game 5 Busans.
Yeah.
So we started working on some other ones. Lijiang, I don't know why other teams are pushing it away. Because usually it's the other teams that were always going Lijiang. Lijiang was like the default control map because it was one of the first ones that came out. I think it came out at the same time as Nepal initially, early on in the game, and then Ilios came out when the game launched. So a lot of people had a lot of time on it. It was also kind of considered like a very basic one to know because it had so many varied playstyles. So a lot of teams would go there first because if they don't know what the other team does, you know that they're going to play maybe TP on Night Market. They're probably going to play something Divey on Garden. They're going to play something mobile on Rush based on Control Center. So a lot of different variable playstyles. It let you kind of feel another team out.
Yeah, definitely you get that vibe from it. A very much fundamental kind of map across all sort of three rounds. But we're going to go ahead and hop into game now to get onto Ilios, our very first map of the night, Sapphire versus Toronto Silver. We'll see how this shakes up. We're about to see our team compositions in just a second here, and we're actually looking at maybe a Reinhardt right out of the gate.
It will be interesting to see with those supports, Roast Chicken and the Invader both play. Okay, yeah, just a hover for now. They can also still pivot break. This could be them discussing what they want to play on this point. In particular, Moira might be what we see. Not something you normally see at this level of competition.
Yeah.
Purely because she just doesn't have any utility. She has a little bit of damage, a little bit of healing. The cleave healing is really the big part of it, but we're going to see, obviously, more of what you'd expect. Almost a mirror comp, but a TP out for Sapphire. Toronto still leaning on that Sojourn, something that's kind of fallen off since the end of Season 2, since those nerfs.
I really like seeing Sapphire stick with the Symmetra a lot of the time here. We don't see them really switch off immediately after they get the teleport out.
Yep.
And I think that really enables a really interesting style of play, especially into characters like Reinhardt here. But Pepto going to be able to get the trade there with Zenith. Both Cassidy's down. We DPS down for both sides. A 4 versus 4 as the skirmish starts to break out here on the hill. Plenty of Symmetra turrets set up here, so Toronto really need to try and get as much damage as they can before they start to push in here, and that's why we see them playing so far back. See an Amiel on Sojourn here, really just trying to find a good angle here, but it's going to be kind of tough to get an angle around Constanoob in these very tight doorways.
Yeah, no longer if you try to get around him, it's going to be tough with the comp that they have. They don't really have a comp that plays to get around you, so the longer these fights go when you can't surround, the better it is for Sapphire. But Pepto, he can't get back from the respawn, and now a rush coming in from Sapphire.
Yeah, this could potentially be disastrous for Sapphire here as Toronto starts to make their way in. Application makes sure that's up. Viso's able to win that one-on-one. He takes 3. And as he continues to just mow him down, Osiren able to find one last, and it is a team kill there for Sapphire as they wipe out the point. Holding on to that, they're a really great turnaround in that fight. Toronto had a great opening there.
Love the idea from Biso. So the way you beat that turtle comp is to surround it, right? They get a pick on Pepto while he's coming back from spawn. That's unfortunate. The pivot is let them onto point, rush something else, and now let Biso surround by going to their high ground. They couldn't deal with it, and we'll see how they deal with this wall.
This barrier is huge. It's cutting off so much space here in just this hallway. Earthshatter coming out, but only going to be able to find Constantnoob. The rest of Sapphire are pretty cozy and comfortable right now up here. Constantnoob is anti-healed, but he still finds two as he goes even deeper into the mix as SNHU pull back out. Team kill coming again as Toronto Silver still haven't found their chance to actually get on the point yet.
Yeah, they're coming in with just high noon. I think that was a bit of an overspend from SNHU, using that shatter projected barrier and the beat. I really don't know if I love that, but I love their positioning right now. They are putting so much pressure on them. They just have to look out for a high noon that could catch them on the rotation back to point, but they're TPing back to their own high ground. Love how creatively they're using the Symmetra.
We're seeing the Deadeye come out from Pepto here to try and soak them out. There's tumbleweeds rolling by as they get ready to draw, but neither of them will actually get the chance to with that bell tower right in the middle of the way. But another amplification matrix coming out from Biso, just going to open things up here, give them a little bit of room to work with. That's going to be a kill from Pepto on Amiel, but not before Toronto find two. Pepto will find two of his own, almost a third here. He just can barely not land that final shot there onto Invader. It's just roast chicken on the point right now, and One Trick starting to move in here. Will be able to finish him off. Timer ticking it down. It's going to be a magnetic grenade there to finish that off, and that's going to be Sapphire with a very clean and quick round one on here on Ilios.
And an excellent body block to close things out. I mean, I think they win that fight a lot cleaner if Pepto uses that window early. I think he switched priority to the players on high ground, which were right, but if he had just shifted 2 steps to the right, now he's doing almost double damage to them. Mitigate some of that fall off a little bit. Probably could have ended a little cleaner, but still, Cassidy relatively uncontested on high ground, shooting through a Baptiste Amp Matrix. It's going to dominate a team that doesn't have any way to mitigate that damage. Looking at what Toronto Silver wants to play here, it looks like Sapphire sticking with the same composition, at least for now. Maybe no TP out, but they don't have anyone to catch up. But Widow, Genji, Zen, Monkey, a huge pivot for Silver.
Yeah, this is a big, big difference, and we're not going to see that very similar composition come out from both sides here. Still the Reinhardt for Sapphire, but the Winston really is going to shift things up and be a big change of pace here for Toronto. If I'm Sapphire right now, I got to be really scared if I'm the supports. Biso and One Trick, they really got to worry about getting dived by Winston and Genji together.
But they don't have a ton of follow-up beyond that. If they can live that initial burst, the sustained damage from Toronto is not necessarily great, but right now, already Sapphire are kind of splitting their focus, so Toronto on the better end of things.
Good mortality field forced out there from Biso to keep Constantnoob alive. We'll be able to keep him pretty up and healthy. Pepto just getting more damage in, takes down Zenith. A fantastic pick off there. Muga's going to end up going down as well as SNHU capture the point and start to get some progress.
And One Trick went into that back line, found that pressure onto the Widowmaker, opening up the map for Sapphire, for Constantnoob specifically, to drop that shield and just start swinging on their back line. Onizen cannot get away from a rush. If that Onizen are uncontested, they're just going to get sped on and swung at and May slowed, and they don't even need speed if they have that slow here as well. Already, great isolation, using the wall to still try to shoot that Monkey very low immediately.
Yeah, that is a lot of fire coming in there on Muga, and he's going to have to back off, slow them down a little bit here as SNHU back up. They do have Amplification Matrix, and Biso's amps have been really big and impactful lately, but it does have to worry about Winston on top of him right now, trying to get in on that back line, but start to fall back. Amplification Matrix coming out. Pepto on the other end of it here, trying to keep the enemy front line away, and we'll be able to take down Zenith. Amiel goes down as well. That is 2 kills for SNHU right now. Constantly able to find a third on that ice wall and is able to get the Earth Shatter there on to Muga. Probably not going to be able to find a kill here, but One Trick going in super deep to try and take down Invader. Not quite able to, but able to just buy so much more time for their game plan here. Sapphire now 60% of the way to finishing out this map.
I mean, ult economy-wise, 2 ults to 0 there. Maybe not the best in terms of trading, but they're putting on so much pressure. But force something out immediately. Only 80% actually towards that Primal Rage, but Nanoblade now coming in, but it only finds the drone so far.
You gotta be terrified of this right now if you're Biso, but he's doing a great job of just flying away, and the timer ticks down. Zenith doesn't find anything, and Pepto shuts him down there, also finding the Deadeye kill there onto Muga. That is Toronto's tank down. Amiel falling as well. Only 2 alive. It's just the supports. Invader getting staggered. Zenyatta has to be terrified right now as Constantnoob just runs him down. The sound barrier coming out as well to just keep them alive even longer. Gonna shut down that Tracer before they have the chance to really get touch on this point. And with Muga falling down as well, Toronto may not even have the chance to get overtime here.
No, they caught
And
them out
won't.
so early. That aggressive play at the end of the round, just making sure no one has a chance to actually make it by. They knew the timer was running down. They're going to be desperate. They're willing to spend ults in their spawn, whether they're beating, whether they're shattering. They're just doing it to keep them locked down. And I have never seen so many just hero charges from Console Noob before, but it's working out.
I want to highlight how well Sapphire's supports played tonight, or just in this first map, right? Because they did such a good job at keeping Console Noob alive. In so many of these team fights, his health was just permanently locked at 50.
Yep.
And they were able to keep him alive through everything there.
That's
and
what a mortality field does.
Well, yes, I know, but there was no mortality field there.
You're right. Yeah, actually, he would have died if he didn't get any heals there.
Yeah.
He was below 130, which is the unreal amount of damage that Cassidy magnet grenade does. I want to really run back. Really, did you see that initial grenade from Pepto onto Genji?
Zenith? Yes. That was incredible
was
that locked on. Magnetic grenade's a little bit of a silly ability.
It is a little silly.
It's almost identical to the role that Flashbang served, but like just kills you instead.
It has a little more counterplay because there's time.
You can recall, like, it doesn't just kill Tracer anymore, but
Yeah.
you know, we'll see. Let's go ahead and take a look at our map overviews here. You see our next map coming up. Oh, never mind.
Never mind. We're being whispered to by production, so
We're hearing
I'm
the
not
gentle
really
whispers.
sure exactly. I wasn't sure what they were saying initially, but we'll see what they are going to be doing map-wise. But for now, I think they're making some roster swaps, so the minor changes, I think. So the little bit of scouting I was able to do, I will say, this team has nothing up that we were able to look at.
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely transparent there. We can only look at their win-loss records, and that wasn't super helpful either. But I did recognize that they did switch their tanks between Control and Escort and Hybrid. So possible that that's the swap that they just made. Obviously, we'll find out when we get to game. But going into Hybrid, I'm not sure where they want to take us. I mean, they saw us play Rush, so I'm going to assume they don't want us to go to King's Row.
Yeah, the King's Row is interesting, especially if they change their tanks there, because the tank that we saw from Toronto Silver on this first map, big Reinhardt player in that first round, and then played Winston as well.
Yep.
I feel like that is the person you want on King's Row. So I think they've got some decent options in their tank pool here to really kind of go anywhere. So we'll just have to see what ends up really happening.
Yeah, we'll see where they decide to pivot. I mean, it also could just be getting people playtime. Some teams like to do that.
That's true.
Look at, this is a bit of a stretch, but like look at like early Overwatch League, teams were just rostering more people and then just like throwing them in. What the Houston Outlaws swapped Raucus and some other flex support every single map.
That is crazy.
For an entire thing, but they are going to King's Row. So I mean, they play against a team that seems like they're pretty hard locked into Rush for both maps of Helios, a map where you don't have to play it. And they want to go here.
I'm skeptical about King's Row, especially because Console Noob on Reinhardt is such an oppressive force.
Yeah.
And especially being enabled by one trick on Lucio to really just control the amount of space expertly. You got to be really scared on King's Row going in this, or really confident if you're Toronto Silver right now.
Maybe they went in saying, all right, guys, look, we didn't play Lucio and Ilios.
That's true.
That's the linchpin, right? That's the one thing that's going to bend it back in our favor because our run's going to have speed. They're not. Well, they are too.
Yeah,
So who knows?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. It was interesting they didn't play Lucio though, because I'm not sure if that's just not in their hero pool kind of thing, or if they wanted to try a different kind of team composition, because that is definitely a big departure from what you normally see on Helios.
It allowed Sapphire to be so much more aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, they could get away with it because they had Lucio, whereas if Silver, I understand like the concept behind it, like if we discord the Rhine, we win the Rhine 1v1. But then they just go in on your Zen. You have to be positioned perfectly to make that work, and realistically, that's not happening until you're mid to high GM scrim levels. Like you're going to get run over.
SNHU also had that Symmetra opener on the first round of Helios there that really, along with the Lucio, allowed them to just get so far into the point before Toronto were able to. So I don't think that's going to be something we're going to see happen again for the rest of the set. I don't think they're going to kind of undervalue the amount that rollout speed really impacts kind of the start of these maps here, because that was the moment SNHU gets these points on Helios, they did not let go ever.
No, they did not. I think a lot of teams think about Symmetra too much as a turtle hero rather than the speed that she gives you. I mean, you look at late Overwatch 1, you were seeing a lot of that. You were seeing a lot of Symmetra being used purely for that reposition, and just able to say, hey, your backline is in a good spot. Nope. Not anymore.
Yeah.
We're on you, and that's the kind of thing that you want to see more with this Symmetra. Now that the teleport deploys faster, and she can poke a little more once she gets into those weird places. You're just not seeing her picked very much. I'd love to see more of her personally.
Well, we also saw there that kind of just a testament to how she doesn't necessarily have to be played as a turtle.
Yeah.
On Ilios there, when they were on the high ground, they were using their turrets incredibly aggressively, and that is so oppressive to deal with going into that. But we're ready to go ahead and get into King's Row. So let's hop into that and see. I mean, this is a map we had last week, so
It is not a tank.
It is the same tank. Yeah, you're right.
It is the same tank. It is a different DPS with a name that you know what? I think they changed him in just because they don't like that we're casting.
This is targeted.
Ziffelheimix?
Are the X's silent? Is it
Iffelheim?
Iffelheim?
But it's not spelt like Niflheim, which you would think, right?
Yeah.
It's like Norse hell.
Yeah, but so when you see X's at the first letter and last letter of a name, do you just subconsciously make them silent?
Is it
or
flame spelled really badly?
Ooh. But what's the I at the start?
Really badly.
I like flame. I like that.
We're gonna. If we call him Flame, anyone watching is gonna have no idea who we're talking about. We should talk about the comp. It is a hard poke comp, which is interesting to see on attack here. You have to really get yourself established, take that far right high ground.
Yeah.
I feel like Sapphire's just gonna speed into them on the way. They're just gonna catch them mid-rotation if they recognize what they need to do early enough. But already Sig trying to walk in, but they're stalemating by statue. That's what you do as a rush comp. This could be something that they just run in, or they could try to wear down some resources first.
They've got a decent foothold here already, but SNHU are going in now with the ice wall going up as well, and Muga just gets nuked as they start to move in. Biso will get taken down. Iffelheim finding two there as Roast Chicken all takes down one trick. Zenith taking down Constantine. It's just Osiren left, and he's not going to last too much longer as Toronto Silver blast past the gates, and they're going to take this first point.
Bit of object permanence. SNHU just forgot that Junkrat was going on that flank, so spamming them over the shield. Pepto gets trapped. They try to play all around Pepto to keep him alive, and then it just does not end up working out for them. But Toronto Silver, they say, okay, yeah, Sig's gonna die. Sig's not gonna live. We're gonna go to ball. We're gonna try to play a little more aggressive, and then Zenith finding a great shot right past them. Here comes a slam as well from them. They need to get healed back up, but they want to try to get a kill on ball first. This Junkrat, though, is just doing wonders.
Ooh. Osiren there, I mean, just the discipline to try and hold on to Ice Block for as long as possible, but that Junkrat damage, you cannot ignore it. Iffelheim's going to find another double kill here. This Junkrat, normally you see it just really pop up, and it gets that element of surprise that really makes him doubly effective, but right now, Iffelheim is just continuing to shred.
Yeah, Junkrat on this map, getting those bounces off the back walls, very hard to avoid. Also playing on these high grounds, which is why you're now seeing a pivot from Sapphire. Osiren drops the Mei, goes Tracer, because Mei is not really going to be as effective when you can shoot over the wall, and now D.Va from Constanube, instead of that Reinhardt, to be able to harass that high ground, and because D.Va's just really good into Zenyatta. Plus, you can stop the Junkrat spam. A lot of really good options here, and now Junkrat way overextended. No one there to save him. Iffelheim goes down, and Sapphire get one of their first picks of the game.
Yeah, Biso, they're able to pick that one up, and this is potentially a big turning point here. Finally, the first time they're able to shut down Toronto's aggression here, and they didn't even find too many big picks, but just taking out one was enough to make them kind of back up and reevaluate their strategy here. With Toronto, they do have some decent ultimates up right now, and that's what you got to work. They're close to getting all 5 across the board, and that's what you really got to worry about.
Yeah, we'll see how well they can kind of ration this ult economy, but look at that, High Noon brought in behind the Matrix, finds one.
And they actually take down the Riptire as well. Biso able to find that. That was right in the middle of the entirety of Sapphire there. That could have been disastrous if he didn't catch that. SNHU now playing incredibly forward, able to take down Zenith. Muga goes down, and now Ziffelheim stuck inside once again. This is a scary spot to push a Junkrat, but with Constanube in there, they're able to just defense matrix him and start to push in. Pepto taking a lot of damage, but Cassidy just really, really durable, able to take a lot of frontline punishment.
I liked how Sapphire approached that, just sending in Constanube. Like, some people were kind of shoulder peeking him so he couldn't turn around, but then say, okay, you can kill any of us. You're not killing D.Va.
Yeah.
We'll send D.Va in to soak that damage and kind of reset that here. Looking at Dragons coming through, they don't get the eat. It's going to force them to disengage here if they know where it's coming from. It has split them, but how well will Toronto capitalize?
Biso right in the middle of things. This minefield coming out, but the sound barrier trying to keep Sapphire alive. Constanube is starting to push up to the front line here, forces the immortality field out from Toronto. As the amplification matrix also comes up, really trying to just establish a super strong front line here. Constanube setting in the self-destruct though, and they need to get away from this super fast. They are able to get inside, and the Transcendence comes out, is able to keep Roast Chicken alive, forces that out. maybe at an inopportune time right there as SNHU start to bleed out Toronto's ultimates.
Yeah, it forces them to spend that Transcendence. So I was talking about ult economy, and you can see them spending quite a bit here to try to capitalize on this. If SNHU can get away, this will look like a much better fight, and a great boop actually, completely negating the fireball, stopping him from getting grapple, and allowing both D.Va and Lucio to likely reset with the team.
SNHU really got one good hold left here on this checkpoint before they need to push Toronto back soon. And there's no ultimates on the board at all right now. We could see a quick Riptire come out, as well as a Pulse Bomb from Osiren. Those are really the two big things we're working with in the immediate future here as SNHU break out of their spawn. And Pepto's able to push forward and take down Roast Chicken. That is a big opening pick, but Biso will get taken out as a trade if I'm able to take that one. But Pepto finds a double, starting to move in now, and Muka's going to be taking a lot of damage as he rolls on back. Toronto just going to choose to fall back and wait for their team to regroup. They have plenty of time in the bank, no need to waste a lot of life here, but a very aggressive Pulse Bomb just to stagger Zenith.
And that's worth it. They've already made a pivot here, now going to Zarya to try to counter this D.Va. I mean, this is like Overwatch 1, like, guys, they have a D.Va, let's run Zarya. Yeah, but I don't think it's that simple anymore. Yeah. I think it's good. I think it's good into D.Va, but I really don't think it's as cut and dry as it was, especially if they're not shooting into the bubbles. Also, the comp that they have, not a lot of sustain. They could almost just run at and overwhelm this Zarya. I feel like the first window they put down, if it's in a good spot, might just delete Muga from the game, but Iffelheim does that first.
Constantnoob right in the middle of things. Deadeye coming out from Pepto, trying to find some space here, but not quite able to find it. Immortality Field forced out, but Constantnoob is going to get demeched before he can get saved by that. One trick gets taken down by Invader. Riptire starting to make its way through. Very scary, but Pepto is able to take that down as he tries to peek around. Zenith is going to be able to win out that duel. Now on the Torbjorn, trying to really establish that sort of sixth shooter on the scene with that turret.
Mostly just to dissuade Osiren from getting around on the flank side, right? That's why you run Torb because of aggressive flankers if you don't want to run Cassidy or just want to be able to focus on spamming down main. So trying to play with more frontal damage and with actually slowing down Osiren from these flanks. We'll see how they play around it. Generally, you just have the rest of your team kind of help you deal with that and you know, play with it from there. But Constantly probably not too used to playing into these Zaryas. He might be struggling immediately, but Pepto, a little bit of an overstep. It's a 1-for-1 4v4.
It's definitely been a minute since we've seen Zarya as a tank here in a little bit. Hasn't been super popular lately, but the sound barrier coming out from Sapphire, trying to keep Constantly alive as he gets demeched. Now just has to try and get his mech back as quickly as possible. Definitely getting punished on a little bit of that aggression that he had been using earlier in the game by the switch over to Zarya. See the mech come back out, but the Graviton Surge as well as the Molten Core. A big combo coming out. Immortality Field forced out to try and keep Osiren alive in this cubby. Biso will not be able to keep up much longer, though. A couple of quick kills from Toronto, and they're starting to close in on the finish line. Constantly needs to get in there now, but he doesn't have his thrusters up. Pepto will be able to get in to be able to touch in time. He has self-destruct. It could potentially be a big opportunity here. Essentially a second life coming out, but he has to stay alive until the mech explodes, and he will be able to get that second remech back up. One trick goes down, can't stay quite alive against Roast Chicken there, but Pepto starting to make his way in. Is going to be able to find a pick on Iffelheim. Junior Dragon's ready for Osiren. Going to be able to push Toronto back off the cart by a lot of space for the team. Get a lot of info there off of that sonar dart as they start to push them back, getting ready for another push.
And huge stabilizing there. I was concerned about Constantnoob surviving, but they don't focus him early there into that. But great spam just down that one lane, finds him. They're going to try to speed in off of this. They need to get a massive ante here or charge up for this nano soon.
Yeah, Pepto's going to be right back into the fray in no time at all. But they need to find something, and they will be able to get Osiren there, making good on this pick. The Nano Boost comes out onto Constantnoob. Going to try and just take as much space as possible. Muga's going to go down. That's the tank down for Toronto. Their front line slowly following as Roast Chicken goes down to that Pulse Bomb. Toronto forced to fall back. Only two of them alive right now. Sapphire only has to bleed 20 more seconds off the clock. Toronto is going to have to contest this for their last push.
Toronto is really wishing they did not spend Molten Core, Coalescence, and Grav in the same push for some reason, and then somehow get stabilized on here. But look, tiny spot from Osiren. He doesn't care about the Zarya. He's just looking for the squishies. That's the only thing he's going to be able to take down, and he finds Zenith right away.
That is a big pick here. Toronto, a 4 versus 5 here as they begin their final push to try and contest. Pepto just going in, shredding Muga right now, but taking a lot of damage in retaliation as he gets healed back up by Invader. Constantly just trying to secure the cart for as long as possible. Pepto is doing a great job of keeping Muga busy, and will finally be able to whittle him down as he starts to move in on the back line here. Scrambling back and forth now. We'll be able to take down Invader. Zenith goes down. Overtime ticking down, and Toronto are going to end their push with just 2 points. Very close to final, but not quite all the way.
Yeah, just narrowly not making it, so all SNHU would have to do is finish the map to close out the map. I love the swaps that they were doing there. I think them switching to Ana Zen, saying, hey, like, they're never going to get on our backline if we're far back enough, even though they're playing this more Lucio. Like, we will spam down that Zarya if we have enough damage outward, or force them to use bubbles via anti, right? Just getting someone purple, making them bubble for cleanse, that's a lot of damage that's not getting soaked. So a lot of ways to force that bubbles, a lot of ways to focus on that Zarya. I think it was a good swap. And we finally got to see One Trick on Zen. So One Trick recently
We have not seen him on Zen at all.
So he hit GM1 recently.
Okay,
he's actually like top 200 now.
Okay.
He's been a grinder. I know everyone's going to say it's the SR inflation season. Whatever. He's been a grinder for a long time. He was GM3 last season. He made it to top 500 this season. He is not a Zen player. Or wasn't a Zen player. He has a 66% win rate on Zen in those level of games right now.
So he's cooking right now.
He's cooking.
Yeah.
He is in the kitchen. I can smell the onions and garlic. He's doing that cool thing with the pan where he's like flipping.
Oh, yeah, no, I can picture it in my mind.
You can see him like with chopsticks in the pan. He's like bouncing the fried rice. I mean, you can absolutely see it.
I'm excited now to see what
now he's on.
continue to cook.
Now he's on.
Yeah, Biso is going to steal the kitchen away from him there. It's Biso's time to cook right now.
Like, you're not wearing your cut glove. I'm sorry. I know about food safety. You need to get out of here.
Toronto's sticking onto the Zarya.
They are. It's the same comp. Yeah. Sapphire running a similar comp too, but there's, well, the similar comp to last time too, but obviously swap the support. It's Pepto and Sojourn now, which I like because there's really no high ground pressure to dislodge him. And Osiren, I'm not sure if this is an intentional Sombra or this is just like, let's see what they're running and then go, but it looks like they want it. It's just I guess it's just Tracer that doesn't get screwed over by Torb.
Last week we did see Osiren use the Sombra to really scout out their composition, but he is just going in, he's committing the hacks in, will be able to get the hack onto Muga, and now Muga's just exploding right now. Suzu forced out, Constantine will get demeched, but the trade comes out from Pepto to take down that Zarya for Toronto as they now move in to try and close out on Iffelheim here, which will be able to do a lot of damage to Pepto as he tries to fall back, but hacking the health kit means no more health for Iffelheim. Osiren's going to be able to finish him off here. Zenith is doing a lot of damage here on the Torben, really able to find these angles he needs to just put out a very, very surprising amount of damage. But Constantine now starting to move in, start to clear some space here, start to take this turret out, and start to separate the team away from each other. Exactly what Sapphire need as they start to try and establish a foothold here on the hill.
Love the way that they're pressuring this Zarya, forcing the bubbles out. Constantine lost mech earlier, but now look, Zarya asleep. Are they going to walk in off this? No, just going to wait it out by a little bit of time. Moira going into the backline, but she fades out, and One Trick walks into the turret, doesn't realize it's there, and they're just getting a little too caught up in the chaos of this fight.
Yeah, they might just have to back out here, and that's going to be really sad if that happens, because they don't have the first third on the point yet. This point, I mean, essentially a complete hold from Toronto. Even though they lost quite a few players there, they were able to come back and stabilize in time. And now Sapphire in a weird spot right now. They're trying to engage in here, and they do have Transcendence to keep them alive as they push on through. Really looking to just melt down this Zarya, and Pepto body blocking him before he can get back out to his healer. It's going to be One Trick who gets the final blow there as Pepto now starts to move on to the point, start to get some capture progress here. But One Trick's not going to be able to stay alive as Rose Chicken's able to hit that kunai headshot. Now starting to move in onto the point here. Biso's coming through, just trading back and forth on both sides. Got to worry about Iffelheim on the point right here, but they've got Pepto and they got Biso on the point. We'll see if he's able to do too much here as SNHU continue to capture. Toronto may go for a contest here. They're getting really close up to the point.
Their spawns are worse, though. I feel like they might not be able to come in, especially with Nano Overclock potentially looking at them with one bubble force. They're going to EMP first. Zarya could get melted, and right away the first one to fall.
The EMP right into the Kitsune Rush is going to hit all of them there, and Pepto finds 2 kills with the Overclocks. He tries to hold on to this point. Moira really forcing him off, though. It sends him right back to the Arches. Constantine starting to meet up back with the team, but will get demeched by this Junkrat. Now has to worry about a very, very angry Junkrat in front of him, trying to kill him. But Pepto's able to save him, bailing him out, finds a double kill there at Sapphire. Looks like they're finally going to be able to get control of this point and start pushing the payload.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far they're going to go. Not very far. That's the answer. We're dying to a trap there, Pepto. All right, I wanted to go back.
To the best of us.
There is too much going on for me to talk about this. I think that rotation from the Zarya and the Moira that forced out Transcendence was... This is coach mode. I'm going coach mode here.
All right.
I think that's a fundamental misunderstanding of the concept of the Overwatch numbers game. They sent 2 people for 3.
Yeah.
That is a zero-sum game you never win. Unless you are better, and you should never put yourself in a position where you're like, oh, we're better, we win. Play to win the game right? Play to win the game through what is just better Overwatch. I like the aggression, but not the way they wanted to do it. But still, Nuke comes in, it finds Moira?
I guess so. No fade. Must have been on cooldown. Osiren will get picked off there by Muga. Switching over to the Echo here. Constantine now right in the middle of everyone. Does have his team with him, backing him up, but they're going to be forced to back out of this alleyway as Toronto really holding inside of this pub right now. Usually see him out on the street, but the Graviton Surge comes out, trying to bait them out, but the Transcendence comes through for Biso. Try and keep his team alive, and will be able to do so as they start to move back up. Got to worry about that trap again. They spotted it out, hopefully able to take care of it. One Trick does have a nano boost ready. Constantine right in the middle of everything. Won't be able to get that, won't be able to get the self-destruct out. Pepto now nano boosted as he's sliding out, maybe a little bit unexpected, but he's going right back and he's able to find Invader, starting to go through. Kitsune Rush comes out, but he just melts. Muga now starting to go in, trying to catch the stragglers as they back off here. Niflheim still doing a ton of damage to the front line here, but forced to fall back without his tank. Sapphire starting to break their way through.
They're finding a way in, but they know that tire's coming from above. Can they find it? Not right away. Didn't have enough rail charge. Couldn't have broken it in time unless he hit everything, but the mech is back. They can stop some of this frontal damage in this stalemate here, but is Console Noob alone? It looks like just a passive angle from the rest. They're not willing to go because Spawn's just coming back now. They're going to have to disengage from this unless they find some insane cooldown in the next second.
Console Noob, I think, really just trying to get ult charge here, sitting around this corner, maybe trying to force Toronto to push up a little bit here. He doesn't have his team right behind him. Sleep Dart not going to find anything there for One Trick. We'll be able to get that anti-then. That could be a key to go in, but we'll get cleansed as Sapphire start to make their way around this corner. They're going to have to take this fight sooner or later, and the self-destruct comes up just in time, but the cover is so perfect as the cart comes around and is able to block a lot of them. Doesn't matter, but it forces them to stay stationary, and Pepto is able to take down Muga. Another player down as Zenith falls, and now we got two players running back into their spawn. Sapphire able to just pick off these two supports. Actually, Invader is able to take down Pepto, and neither of the supports die. They both stay alive in there, surprisingly.
One Trick to one, finding all the cleanup kills. They kept getting people low, not able to finish them off because they have so much mobility, but they also couldn't get re-healed because they have Moira.
Yeah.
You know, Kiriko was playing too much to try to save that Moira. They just got to be careful about how they send in this point right now, but Zarya way overstepping. No healers there, just trying to fight it now. Ooh. These are some brutal staggers that Sapphire are finding. Nano and Dupe potentially on the table for them with only High Noon and Grav. Now coming up for Toronto, I think this grab, if Toronto wants to really stabilize and establish themselves again, I think this grab has to be massive.
Yeah, they really need to find something here. They do have Deadeye coming up. They got Ripped. I mean, they're coming to a few ultimates here. Sapphire does have some big ones of their own, though, and particularly Osiren's duplication. How he uses this could potentially just break straight through Toronto's attempt to stabilize here. He's gonna take a direct hit there, but he's okay. He's okay.
Now imagine a bubbled D.Va. Imagine Osiren just gets D.Va and they just bubble him in.
Oh yeah.
They get Zarya, bubble D.Va in. Looks like that might have been the plan, actually. They are playing Zar. They're looking for a grab here. Huge field from Sojourn as he wants to walk. He just desperately wants grab, but they're going to grab him first. Can he get the tracking to find that in time? No. He finds just that one, though. Both tanks technically now pick. Great start.
Did force out the Graviton Surge there from Toronto, and that could be valuable, but Sapphire now only have the nano boost. Toronto hold on to a few ultimates. Pepto's able to find something, but just forced to back off right now as he tries to hold on for as long as he can, tries to build up some charge. But Toronto, here's some big ultimates. The Kitsune Rush is really going to be a problem. Sapphire don't have any way to match it right now, and they don't have any way to really clear out its zone.
I was actually going to say I'd be looking out for this tire as Biso 5 orbs him, so that's going to let them really set up. Kitsune Rush has to be monumental for them to flip this, but Nano could make it, if they go too aggressive with it, it could make it really hard. Nano overclock. Pepto could turn this into a shooting gallery here, but now no sleep. That comes in. They're looking to save someone, but can't find anyone in time. It's a 1-for-1.
Riptire coming out from Niflheim here as well. Is climbing up top. Pepto might not be looking at it here. He slides back to get away from it. It does blow up Constantine and is going to be able to demech him there. He is on high ground. That's one of the safer spots to be, and he is going to be able to reset right away, get right back in his mech, and that's definitely the right play here. Sapphire, 30 seconds left. They are right along the finish line. They just need to build up their ult economy and just try and take this final push.
Yeah, and time is running low. I mean, this is going to be the last fight with only Nano up on the board for Toronto Silver, but where Niflheim is playing right now. I mean, this is not the first time he's played up there, and they spotted him, so D.Va, he's staying there a long time, but D.Va spends the fly to go forward. They know he's there, but they're going to be a little afraid to push with that Junkrat still sitting in that position, and are they going to just forget about him?
They don't have a great way to clear it with Disruptor on cooldown. Pepto might try and send it back up there again, but he's actually going to slide on up. We'll be able to cake him down, but he goes down to the Martyrdom, blows up on the grenades, and that's going to be a player down for both sides there, making sure to take someone with them. So Siren now going in. Console Noob is going to get nano boosted right in the middle of everything. He does have self-destruct up. If he needs that second life, he does get antied. Trying to get in here, but the anti also comes out onto Muga, the Zarya, but will get shredded down. Siren, on 3 of his teammates, find that kill. They start to push forward here, but if Heim's on top, they gotta worry about this. Tactical vibes are coming out from Zenith, and he's gonna shred straight through Siren. That's Soldier for Soldier. Console Noob will be able to trade that one out, but Pepto falls in the meantime. SNHU, they have no DPS for a minute here. They really have to try and hold on without any damage to back them up here. We're gonna see the Doomfist come out from Nuga. He will get antied here, trying to hold on. The power block coming through, but SNHU aren't able to push up in time. They stepped off the carts.
I mean, right off the edge. It was so close there, razor thin. Honestly, a half a step closer. I think they get that purely because of that bomb that they still had, right? They still had Nuke. That's effectively 2 tanks. The only thing that changes that there is if Diva gets punched out of the remake afterwards, right? But still, Toronto, they put on enough pressure to keep him off of it. It was excellent, well played by them. A really unorthodox comp, but it was able to catch Sapphire off guard enough to push them to a map win.
I really like the way that they played Junkrat on that map. I think he did.
Hitting everything.
It didn't. Well, okay. Yeah, just hit your shot.
If you hit everything on Junkrat, yeah, it's gonna look.
But his
good.
positioning was really interesting. Yeah. He was able to control a lot of space separately from his team, and there at the end, I mean, he could have single-handedly won that game for his team with Pepto going up there, getting taken down. Got that early trade right away, and that meant SNHU were really, really kind of low on combat strength. They started to push through, and they weren't able to really finish up that team fight as cleanly as they would have wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Maybe they sent Diva up there instead, but they had to touch, right? They sent Sojourn into point, and then Sojourn dies on point instead. You had to kind of take that gamble, but it makes sense. I mean, he's hiding up there. They knew he was there. You heard the comms from it. They knew that he was playing in that position. Maybe they just take an off angle to clear him out. Maybe they spend the E in a different way, right? The Sojourn used that field. It must not have touched him because we thought they found him with that. They were marking it like crazy. They recognized, hey, he's just playing up here. He's just playing up here.
Yeah.
But then they later were like, oh, Rod's up there. He snuck right by it.
It is interesting that disruptor field just barely did not hit him there because that was a big information loss.
You think it would have hit trap too, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe put it up only afterwards.
He must have put it up right.
Or reset it if it broke.
Could have either or. Maybe the hit markers just took out the trap and they're like, oh, maybe he's not up there.
Oh, he's not up there. Yeah, he left the trap up there though. Wouldn't that be cheeky if we died to that? Thank God we found that.
Yeah.
And then
it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, running up and barrel stuffing with the railgun and then stepping on the trap. There's not much you can do there in that situation, other than just maybe take the opposing high ground. But it's all hindsight.
That's riskier too. I mean, it's riskier because you put your back to the enemy team. They can dive you with something or poke you when you're not looking. Either way, 1-1. We are heading into Escort. So, trying to think of where they'd want to go, what they'd want to ban. I was about to say Numbani not available still, but that's a hybrid.
Yeah, so that's not. Don't worry. Numbani, don't even have to worry about it.
But so we think about what we've seen them play, right? We saw them play Ball. We saw them play Zarya to counter Diva. I think it was good. It put more pressure on Console, but I feel like they were figuring it out way more by the end. It felt like that Zarya was kind of melting later in fights, and the fights were being won by the DPS.
Yes.
So I'm curious where Sapphire wants to take them. I mean, you have Havana to kind of play at range, right? You can have Havana try to play snipers. You say, I don't think they're going to be coordinated enough to punish us because they're playing very chaotic. Or you say, they're playing very chaotic. I'm never going to be able to hit anything. Let's go to a map that maybe feels a little more controlled. You can maybe go play Dorado, try to play super aggressive, not give them a chance to set up. There's a lot of options that are open for them. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at our map overview, see what's coming up for Escort here. Circuit Royale. That makes sense. I think that makes sense because you can, if you play Havana or Junkertown, there's a lot of ways to play a little chaotic, a little, kind of dive in with Moira, mess up the back line, if that's how you want to play the game. Circuit is a straight line. Yep. I mean, it is a map that I'm glad that I don't have to play. It is going to be interesting to see how the tanks shift things up here because Sigma is generally the universal pick that you see on this map, and we haven't seen either of these tanks play Sigma yet. So at least in this set. So we did. We saw about 5 seconds of Sigma for Muga before he got annihilated. And then he was ball for the rest of the game. Yeah, then he was ball for the rest of the game. Let's go ahead and hop into game and see exactly what we're looking at here. As Circuit, I said it last time, better. I love the daylighting. The daylighting, I think every map should be morning, and I think that is... As long as it's not afternoon? No, I think every map should be morning lighting, and I think that is the most frigid, ice-cold take I've ever had.
Like the colors pop so much more in the morning light. It's pretty.
Easier to read. The light isn't shining in your eyes like Gibraltar.
Yeah.
But we are seeing Sigma mirror magic. That is interesting.
We're gonna see
a
pharmacy from Sapphire.
Well, because they haven't played any hits game.
Yeah.
At all. They don't know that they are.
That's an interesting call here. And yeah, definitely kind of hoping that Toronto Silver won't match the Widowmaker here in that play. So we'll see if Sapphire switch off of this quickly or if they want to hold on to it.
You know what it could be, too? It could be a surprise strat over the wall.
Yeah.
The old illegal, the Overwatch League illegal
Yeah, don't put
strat.
your Maywall
Don't put your Maywall up there, but you can send your Pharmacy up there.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. They are on attack. They also probably have just saw that Junkrat is there. Obviously putting trap in the front door. They haven't known. They'll know in about 2 seconds if someone gets stuck in it. But I want to see how kind of much of a surprise play they take this right now. They know Junk's there. Pharmacy are going over the right wall, but they're looking for it immediately. You can see Sigma already spamming over there, but it's still an off angle that now Toronto has to consider.
Yeah, and SNHU are just going to be able to take space while they're pressuring up there and start to make their way forward. Pepto is continuing to come up here. And I mean, this is the most cover that I think Farah has in the entire map right now. So this is kind of a great play for him to sit up here and just kind of rain down, try and take as much shots from cover as possible, because it's really the only point that you can take advantage of this. He's trying to pressure Zenith as much as he can, but just really struggling to. Will be able to knock Muga a little bit further into his team's line, but forced to get back behind this cover up here as he just tries to catch some extra damage.
With off angle from Bisto here too. I like the way that he's trying to play it around this cover, but really it's Circuit Royale. This map's going to come down a lot to the sniper duel. Osiren needs information on where Zenith is, or else he's never going to have an advantage here. But if someone's going to run in his sights, he'll take what he can get.
Definitely, an auto pick is nothing to be ashamed of here. As they start moving on Roast Chicken, he just stands still, accepts his fate. He knows he can't get the cover in time. That's just that's the unfortunate truth of Zenyatta here. Pepto does get picked off, but will be able to get picked back up. Zenith gets taken down by Consonant there, and SNHU are doing a great job at really paving a path forward here towards this first checkpoint.
You can really, there is definitely like an ego check here coming in from Iffelheim, and I say that because he is trying to hit this Pharah.
Yeah, he is.
You don't do that unless you're confident, and Buka's really confident with reason because he's connecting those shots onto that Pharah in the air, knocking him down, and now looking at bully Console Noob still though. Osiren trying to play this with no info as Console Noob is buying time on the cart.
This is a scary spot to play Farah in as well, because when you jump up into the air... Oh, we hit that!
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't teach him that.
Well, that's the first checkpoint for SNHU as they start to move forward here. An incredible shot's going to really open things up. Pepto, unfortunately, caught here on the barrier. Just a few inches past, and he would have fallen back in the cover. But with Toronto forced to fall back anyway, it's not a big deal.
I'm going to yell at one trick after this to hold the heal beam someone, a 200 health target who is slept in front of an entire team. Instead of blue beaming someone who's unconscious? Yeah, I'll bring that one up later. I'm mostly saying it so if I watch the VOD, I'll remember if I forget. But aggressive positioning right now. Love the angle that they're taking. Osiren is in a great spot, and they actually swapped off Widow. So they don't want to take this duel anymore. They want to just harass the backline and ignore the farmers.
Yeah, this could potentially put a lot of pressure onto Osiren here, but yeah, it's just really going to allow Pepto and One Trick to just completely go in, and the Nano Boost barrage comes out. He's able to find two, does get taken down there as Iffelheim is able to trade that one out, but the damage has been done. Two big picks as a tank and a support go down. Consub continuing to just take this space. Biso starting to just keep him alive, and he's really able to play so forward here with a lot of Toronto dead.
And a big pivot now from Sapphire. They're saying, all right, we're going inside. Pharmacy probably not going to work as much anymore, even though they still don't have hit scan. We want to just try not to play around it. And One Trick, knowing that, also gets rid of Bout early. So just spending those ults, and now a Flux will come in. This could be the start of a great cap here, but no one found yet.
We'll see. They're just trying to contest the cart right now. They really want to stop it, and Mortality Field is forced out and is taken down there. Zenith falls as Pepto wins that Tracer duel. A lot of damage going there onto Iffelheim, and a big anti-nade hits both of Toronto's supports. SNHU had an opportunity to push forward here, but the Riptire is going to take down Consolidum. That could be a big shift right here, but Roast Chicken gets taken down there by Osiren. As he starts to find even more, it's just Muga left on the cart. Some of them trying to come in to contest at the last second here, but SNHU, they've got a lot of people here on the cart. They just have to kill this Tracer quickly, which could be a little bit of a problem. Zenith really is breaking some ankles here on the cart right now. Osiren does not care. He does not let that bother him.
Oh, he was looking at a Reaper TP there. If they get the res on point, One Trick still alive. They do finally kill, but they took so long because of the distraction. Now they're forced to use more ult, but Window also brought out in kind. Slept antied. Can Noob survive? Barely.
How does he live through that? That is insane. Keeps keeping himself alive along with his supports. All of the healing there just went straight into him. Had a Reaper on his back the entire time, and he's able to kill him too. SNHU continuing to push forward. It's just Zenith left on the cart right now, and not on the Tracer. Unlikely he's going to be able to contest for quite as long as he did last time. But SNHU are finally able to break through and capture the second checkpoint.
I'm still just laughing at the image of Osiren hard scoping on cart.
He did not care. Go away.
It's like, I got my priorities straight, okay? I know what I'm here for, and it's not you. And then they almost managed to retake and cap. But Sapphire, I like the pivot. There's Zen now again. One Trick again back this year that we haven't seen a lot from before. But Toronto is just saying, we do not want to deal with Widow anymore. We hate snipers. We hate snipers. We're going Monkey. We're going Genji. We're going to try to run at you. But Sapphire putting up a decent amount of pressure on the sides until Roast Chicken finds that headshot and opens the door for this Winston to get very aggressive.
Yeah, those kunai headshots are definitely something you got to be scared of when you're on Tracer right there, because one of those is just going to do so much damage to you.
There's no other way to boost the damage either. Like, no Discord, it's you could die so quick. It does 140, I think.
Siren goes in, is able to take down Muga. Pepto will fall to Iffelheim there as he tries to go in. Pulse Bomb not going to find anything. Biso going to take down Zenith, and SNHU are slowly taking some picks here. Just getting the attrition out right now as they start to push forward. Console Noob just walking up to this Reaper, and now a little bit out of position, has the Discord Orb on him, but does get Nano Boost, and now that is very dangerous as Muga also jumps in. Now starting to go in on the back line here, and this is a scary spot to be in. Not a lot you can do there as Muga finds a triple kill as he just continues to run, hold W, hold left click, and run at SNHU's back line right there.
Did Osiren just find that kill from behind them on the right flank?
Yeah.
Headshotting the Monkey that was leaving from the previous fight? I guess that's one way to kind of start a fight off, right, with that early pressure here Reaper. The only ultimate that Toronto has, getting very aggressive right now, but burst down.
That's big, and SNHU is also going to switch over to the Cassidy there. Zenith is going to fall as SNHU continue to push forward here. Only 3 players alive right now, and they see how far back they're playing. They want SNHU to push forward in here. Once you get into the middle of this hall, there are just so many angles on you. You really have to try and force a big team fight to come out. Suzu will keep them alive right there, but Big Flux could potentially kill this Reaper right here, and it will kill Roast Chicken. The Reaper starting to go in. Will maybe be looking to pop this Death Blossom. He does. He finds 2. He takes down Biso and Osiren, but there's still 3 players down left on the point. They're 0.87 meters away right now. Transcendence from Biso just trying, from One Trick, just trying to sit on the cart right now. Pepto trying to do as much damage as he can. Constant will be able to take down Roast Chicken right now. It's just Zenith. A lot of deflect damage going into One Trick, and will be able to take him down as Toronto begin to very, very quickly flood the point with players right now. SNHU trying to hold on for as long as they can. Pepto's able to find another kill. Constant still miraculously alive, but will go down as Muga shows up. Osiren able to trade that one out. And SNHU backing up, giving Toronto a little bit of space, but they are so close to the finish line.
Target priority is really missing for SNHU here. I feel like they're just beefing, honestly, against some of these targets, like the Genjis that's jumping around them. He delays for so long. This is the second point in a row that we've seen Zenith just buy 10 seconds a time just by staying alive and being mobile. It's setting up for Toronto to come back. They did have to spend a lot. I mean, literally,
yes.
that is everything. If SNHU take this time to charge some ultimates and find their way in, this could work out. They're running BAP now as well, so a little bit of extra poke, a little bit of more established positioning here, and they're getting flanked. They move as a unit. They could win this quickly, but being forced back, Reaper's already there. They let the pincer work.
Yeah, Pepto tried to leash him back to the cart, will get taken down as Osiren starts to move in here, does charge Deadeye, gets back to his team. 3 seconds left on the cart, though. They have to touch, and they will start to go down. Deadeye not going to find anything, but he will drop on in. Muga doing a ton of damage, but so is Iffelheim here. He's able to take down Osiren, but 3 quick kills from SNHU. Takes down Muga as well. It is just Iffelheim left on the point, and SNHU take him down. They're going to be able to cap the cart and push it in all the way. Toronto Silver are going to have to make a full trip around the map.
They'll have to make it all the way just to get the ability to play overtime.
Yes.
Right? You hate that. You hate when you cap an OT and the other team finishes there. It's like, oh gosh, I have to play more Circuit Royale. I'm just a Circuit Royale hater. That's just on me. But
Siren seems like he's having a great time on Circuit Royale.
Yeah, and you know what? He's the only one. That's the nature of Hitscan. These swaps that we're seeing from the teams are interesting. I liked the BAP by the end from SNHU. I feel like they still played too slow. I think they see Reaper TP, they pinged him. They knew he was there.
They didn't
and
collapse.
They should have just gone forward and taken the 5v4. I don't think you go back because then he rates and buys time. They're getting too close to the overtime, right, for them to risk going that far away, especially without Lucio's speed. But it's 5v4. They could just go. They really could have just walked and had someone mark the Reaper. Have someone occasionally look back and see where he is. They knew he was far away. They knew he had just TP'd. They had at least 8 to 9 seconds of effectively free play for the tank. And it ended up working out in the end. SNHU lives by a thread that whole time, courtesy of the healing that BAP and Sen can provide to you. But I think it just could have been cleaner. Looking at this now, interesting to see them flip it again. One trick now to BAP.
Yeah.
Iso back on Zen. And we're seeing a double sniper comp come out with Iffelheim still just locking the Junkrat. He's a Reaper. He's the Mary Mellon of the University of Toronto.
I always like the double sniper here.
It's great.
It's great, but it's also just kind of fun to see.
Wait,
it's very volatile.
Can we watch the junk? I think he might do the silly thing. They are so aware. They are so aware of the silly thing. Yep, and there it goes. And
Are they going to be able to kill him, though?
No, he's just going to play under them and bait them. Never mind. Yep.
One trick kills those. Yep. He gets that. SNHU trying to hold the line here. One trick getting back over will be able to keep him alive as Toronto Silver are forced around this corner here. SNHU trying to push forward. Will be able to get Zenith back a little bit, and that's the big thing there. He's pressuring this backline as much as he can. Osiron will get taken out, though. Zenith finds that headshot, and now SNHU has to worry about backing up as fast as he can because they are not going to have the range advantage here for very much longer, especially with Pepto down. SNHU have to fall back and just try and stay alive, try and burn as much time as they can. SNHU taking a decent amount of damage. They start to push up through here. Shield going down. Hands come out. Does get antied, but not going to be a big deal here as he is able to sit behind cover. Osiron not quite able to hit that here. Looking to get another shot through these tiny gaps. We'll see if he's able to find 2 in one night.
SNHU is in a great spot, able to shoot the backline. Osiron finds the backline too.
Now going in, SNHU, they find an opportunity here to really start to push up, and that's an easy shot for Osiron there to take down Roast Chicken. Muga's going to fall down as well as his support falls. Just 3 players left from Toronto, and they're forced to fall back, but look at where Iffelheim is right here. They called him out. They know exactly where he is. Immortality Field does come out. One trick isn't able to get that kill. Now they got to worry about him. He's a thorn in the side right now.
I'm glad that they're playing so aware of this, and so we had a scrim about 2 weeks ago that was against a team that was really good. They kind of started messing around, doing Junkrat, hiding in weird places, setting him on weird flanks, and I remember people saying like, I don't know if we learned a lot from that. You know what? I think it's paying off right now in how aware they are of this here, but Suzu now spent trying to use Flux here. It's not going to find anyone because no one's close enough to help Muga.
He's going to pop his own, does get nano boost as well. Could be scary with everyone caught up in the air. If I'm going to be able to find a trap kill there on SNHU, but the Siren does take down Roast Chicken again. Will get traded out there by Muga. SNHU, you have to find a pick soon to try and stabilize this team fight. And really coming out from Zenith, so we could see a very quick pick come out here if he's able to catch someone behind cover. He will be able to take down One Trick, and that's just going to be the big issue here. He takes down Pepto as well.
Yeah, what an insane push there. I mean, you know it's coming. You have Infrasight. You can see him through walls. You have a feeling he's going to jump soon. Still an insane shot by Zenith to find that. Shows the power of Widow on this map because you are basically never safe. You have to play natural cover. You have to clear angles bit by bit as you go. And when you don't have information, it is so hard to really clear this space. But now they have that info. SNHU able to find space up main, walking in. But look, Junkrat, so aggressive, just wants to shove into that choke point and find Osiron. But these walls should give him away. Still has the conk able to get away.
Toronto are going to be able to get right back into safety right now. Just very, very hiding back and playing extremely safe because of the Infrasight, but they're going to get the Kitsune rush and they're going to start to push forward here. Sapphire can't match us. They don't have the Kiriko, but Osiron's going to be able to take down the Invader. Taking down that Ana, just trying to get more picks on the backline there. Takes down Iffelheim as well. Shooting ducks. Just continuing to push forward and clean up this team fight right here. Is able to find Zenith as well. Narrowly missing a shot to the head. As they just continue to push Toronto back here. A great push out from Sapphire, really able to buy a lot of time for themselves and a very, very good, I think, morale boost there after they take that team fight. That was a great job. First time they've really been able to full stop Toronto.
Yeah, they've really got their feet under them after that fight. I honestly think the biggest morale boost of that was not necessarily winning the fight, but getting those kind of ults counter, right? Stopping the Junkrat from doing the silly stuff and surviving the whole time, not letting them get away with their plans going in instead of having to kind of adjust to the chaos. They never really had anything go wrong in that fight, so they're probably feeling a little good about that here. Kalsanu taking an off angle here, right down main. Love the positioning here, but the snipers have to be finding something. But still, they're rotating around. Flux. They know the call is there. The call is there. They know they're already pre-rotating, but they have to look for Tire, which doesn't detonate on them.
It's now going in even deeper, trying to find the backline. Siren will be able to shut that down. Flux coming out, is able to find one. Roast Chicken gets taken out by that. Invader just trying to get back behind cover, trying to avoid these storm arrows. So Siren tries to push up and peek Iffelheim here. A big Flux, but forces the Transcendence out from Biso to keep his tank alive. Constanoob still on the front line now. They start to try and just play around these brushes over here. Pepto will be able to take down Zenith, and that is a lot of pressure relieved right now. But they still have to worry about Iffelheim just constantly sending out these pipes and really just spamming through these choke points here. Muga's going to end up falling, getting back down with the rest of his team, and SNHU buy a little bit more time and breathing room.
Having to push back from this for now. Sonar is giving them a lot of intel here, and they know that Junkrat is just looking for flank, but here they're nanoing the Sigma. He's running it down main, getting a lot of damage onto Constanoob. Do they have the healing to live through this? He has no resources, and finally, he's taken down, but it's 1-for-1, and the Widow swapped off by Toronto for that Genji.
Pepto just trying to take down Iffelheim with him, but won't be able to as Muga pushes up on him. Biso will be able to trade that out, though. Take down the Sigma. Trying to find Invader. Not quite able to hit that shot, though. Toronto, they've got two on the cart right now. One Trick playing so close. You got to be scared of that Junkrat right now, but just trying to contest for as long as they can. Siren looking to find these angles. Does have Junkrat flying right at him, but is able to go down to One Trick. Iffelheim will trade that one right back out, though. Biso continuing to push forward, takes down Roast Chicken. Was continuing to clean up this team fight. Only a minute left on the clock for Toronto. They're so close to getting a time extension on this checkpoint, but they need to be able to actually push through this really solid position that SNHU have taken up.
I love the way that One Trick played that, hugging that corner so close, but impossible for them to pressure. So here's the thing. When you're playing Reaper, you don't just TP in the open in front of a double sniper go. Yeah. Just saying. Just here's my coach Overwatch tips. Don't do that. Tip. Don't do that. No problem. That's free. The rest are going to cost you. Constanoob is contesting this fairly well right now and avoiding some really impactful cooldowns. Rock taken out. They're trying to dive on him, though. He's knocked so low. Do they have to sustain for him? He's caught in flux. Can he rock it? Not this time, but the Immortal save him for now.
Yeah, we're seeing the Transcendence come out from Roast Chicken and Biso as well. Everyone's still alive, but Pepto just nuking down Zenith, able to find that headshot. They've got to get up and really start to contest harder. Siren will end up going down to Iffelheim here, but Pepto starting to get right into the middle of things. Will end up going down as Iffelheim finds him. One Trick is taken out. It's just the two players left here. Siren actually back in spawn, switching out. It's just Biso behind enemy lines. Toronto Silver are going to be able to capture this checkpoint, get that minute and a half time extension. It's not a lot of time left to push all the way to final, though. They really are going to be burning against the clock.
This is a really difficult choke point for them to hold here. Going to depend on how early they take this fight and how they hold this positioning that our free cam is in right now. The pool positioning, it can be really impactful for pressuring cart, but right now you can see Toronto are taking it early. They are coming around with Sigma and Reaper, which is an interesting comp to see. Usually you use Sigma to hold wide angles, but that's not how they're going to play it because they have no one that can hold wide angles at all in that composition. Huge dive from Pepto, gets slept, finds the kill. Can he survive? Is the peel from Osiren enough? Yes.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine right now, able to get back to the rest of his team. If I'm just barely not dying to that Tracer burst from distance. One Trick, this is unfortunate. Zenith was trying really hard to get over there in time, but he's going to be forced off by Cassidy there on that magnetic grenade. Flux coming out, trying to catch two, will find two, trying to get this big damage out. Now Muga gets a big heal on him, but now have to worry about the Death Blossom right on top of you, and Constantine doesn't have hands right now, and Iffelheim's going to be able to take him down. Zenith finds Osiren. That's three players down for Sapphire. Now Biso next up on the chopping block. One Trick going down. It's a team kill for Toronto. 15 seconds left. They're threatening final right now.
But they used everything. Sapphire doesn't have anything, though. Only Trance potentially now coming up for Toronto with Sapphire going to this. Are they going to see this Reaper? He's crouching right in front of the door. He's taking a lot of damage, forcing that Wraith early. D.Va will be able to touch. What is the target priority here? Is it appropriately going to go on the Zen? Will he Trance? He will early. Can Sapphire sustain?
They really just need to hold on here. Nano Boost going out onto Constantine. Post Bomb will go out, but they stay alive. Muga, not long for though. Not super long, as Niflheim also just right in the middle of everything. Will end up going down, and a good hold from SNHU. He's going to bring things 2-1 as they take Circuit Royale.
Yeah, not going to C9 this time. Even if they did, there'd be overtime, but still a little more aware of the card, aware of who to shoot. The ante from One Trick, really the turn there. Hitting it on that Sigma, meaning Trance. They actually have a target to focus, right? Otherwise, you shoot someone in Trance, it's like, I'm just getting all charged. Yeah. But, you know, actually a chance to look somewhere here. I did not love this Nano Blossom. Kind of killed just one person. Yeah. Kind of just killed Sigma.
It definitely killed the one person it was supposed to kill.
It did. I mean, there was a goal put in place, right? What's the smart goals? right?
Yeah.
There was a measurable goal. It was kill Sigma, and it was achievable too because it
That's the
happened.
trick to success. You got to set reasonable goals for yourself. Say, I'm going to kill this one Sigma with a Nano Blossom. I think that's a realistic goal.
You're right. It worked out, and I mean, got to play the game too. But honestly, that was just on good reprame. That was just on aggressive TP in, backlines trying to run away. You get those staggered kills afterwards. I have absolutely no idea what push map we're going to go to, by the way. I'm pretty sure that they're going to take some time to figure it out, but I have literally no clue where they want to go with Rat.
We've been to Esperanza for the last, 5 weeks.
We don't pick it.
That's true. That's true. But even when it hasn't been our pick, we've been going there every week. I'm just going to say probability. Probability says Esperanza. But, I mean, looking at Coliseo and New Queen Street, those are not maps that we see super often here. How are we feeling about how we're comfortable on those?
I'm not going to give anything away.
Come on. I got to have something in here to write down.
Book. What do you see? What's in your journal?
Refuse to disclose information.
I plead the fifth. Did I do that here? Good news. It's ready. Let's find out.
Map overview.
It is.
What did I say?
Wait. Osiren said they picked Esperanza after the map overview came in. Did Toronto DM
It was just
our producer?
a good guess.
Oh, really? I guess so.
The numbers don't lie.
Numbers
don't lie, Bobby.
The words have changed. Like, everything has changed in this game. Everyone did not like this map when it came out.
Yeah.
And then suddenly everyone's like, oh, it's the best push map. Like, everyone's picking it now. Because I don't think we usually come to Esperanza having lost map 3.
Yeah.
You'll know better than me.
Having lost map 3, I think we've only seen Esperanza this season. We have not seen much else.
Fair. But no one's banning it. Everyone likes it. Everyone's willing to keep it in the pool, right? It's like King's Row.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Everyone is willing to go there.
I feel
no
like
matter what.
It is one of those maps where it's just a very overall balanced map, I feel like. There's a lot of places where you can really play for big value, and on push that's not always the case. Push, there are some times where you are just locked in an area where it is really hard for you to get value. Esperanza, I don't necessarily feel like that's the case. I feel like there's always kind of a way for you to get back into the game, no matter where you are on the map.
I also feel like, so the general concept of push, and I think I've talked about this before, is that there are a couple spots, it seems super dynamic, but really what it is you look at the map and you say, I want to take fights here, 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 and here. And there's 5 points that you're okay with taking fights at.
Yeah.
Esperanzas, I think, are just easier to figure out than others. I think when you look at Esperanza top down, you can say, oh, it's here. Like, it's these 5 spots. You can just tell by looking at it, like, these are the kind of dynamic choke points that the map creates.
Yeah.
Maps like New Queen Street don't really have that. Like, there's no choke point that the cart really goes through on New Queen Street because the whole map is just one winding choke.
Yeah.
So people didn't really know how they wanted to play it, and now they're just leaning onto Esperanza because it's a new mode. It's just easier to play a map that is it feels so natural for someone who understands Overwatch.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and hop into a game now. Get to see a little bit more of this map. I no matter how much I see this map, though, I don't get sick of it. It is super fun map to watch, especially. Last week we had the crazy comeback here, which I'm not gonna say anymore. I don't want to jinx anything, but we are seeing the Ramatra come out from Toronto here.
We are, and no junk, whiunk, which is actually the biggest surprise to me. I feel like Iffelheim again, like I said, Mary Mellon earlier. When I think Junkrat specialist, I think someone who is just really honed in on that character. But obviously we've seen very solid Reaper play from Iffelheim as the game's gone on. And a lot more speed from Sapphire. I mean, they have Moira Ana from Silver. They want to just send someone at their backline. This is going to be a very hard game for Biso and One Trick.
It is going to be a fight to stay alive for them right here. We already see Iffelheim is on the left over there, and they do spot him out, already pinged, and they know exactly where he is. Osiren gets slept, though. Not going to be a really big opportunity to actually kill him here, but just a little bit less damage coming out from SNHU for a little bit. As they continue to just kind of sit around this flank, just trying to harass for as long as they can. SNHU trying to push up, but we'll see. Constantine really fighting over here. Does have Nemastorm right on top of him. Immortality to try and keep him alive. Biso fighting tooth and nail to keep him up, but he is going to get taken out there by Iffelheim as he also takes down One Trick. No supports left for SNHU. They are just hemorrhaging health. Osiren about to go down. Constantine soon to fall. That's a team kill from Toronto as they start to push the bot forward. They're making their way up towards forward spawns and threatening nose.
And Toronto just playing a 2-3 split, but it's very slow. I honestly feel like if Sapphire just pivoted to a Mei rush comp, I think they just walk all over them, honestly. I don't know what Ana does. How does Ana live?
That's
they
true.
shoot them better. If they're this rush comp, they can just sustain it for whatever reason. But they're playing Reaper Moira on one lane, and then everyone else on the other, and trying to set up a crossfire where as soon as they try to push the 3, they come in with the rest. But that doesn't necessarily work if you play fast enough. For right now, Moira, no fade. That's got to be their first target here.
See a big group up here inside. SNHU trying to pressure this console, but it's going to get demeched though as Muga just continues to run forward in Nemesis mode right now. And this Nemesis mode is really causing a problem here for Consonuba on the Diva. Able to just punch through DM is a lot of damage you can't avoid, but Biso just shredding that Reaper for Toronto as they now move down onto the bot, just starting to take out the stragglers here. It is just Muga left here on the cart, and he's going to end up falling as well. SNHU will get control of the bot before Toronto can take forward spawns, and that is a very, very big thing for them.
Yeah, I think if they can get into a spot where they're not going to get pincered and just spam them down, you can see Toronto doesn't really have an answer. Like, how do you outpoke them with Reaper Moira?
Yeah,
you don't. They're gonna wear you down eventually with Discord and stuff. But I think the difference maker here is going to be Iffelheim, right? Where he positions, how they kind of escape some of this, and how he gets spotted early. You can already see. Consonuba has spotted him. They recognize that he's in that position. What's the adaptation? How do they pivot? And how do they do it while still capping cart without losing Pepto?
See, amplification makes come out from Pepto as well as that tactical visor. Really split on where to aim though. Muga will get taken out as they now try and pressure this high ground up here. This Zenith up here, half health, and Osiren's going to try and take this fight, but he is able to get back into cover in time. Does get slept out in the open though. Once again, we're going to see the Reaper start to come in. Does get nanoed, is so close to getting Death Blossom, but we'll see if he's able to get it just in time. He's at 98%. He does get it. He's not going to pop it quite yet as he tries to stay alive. Coalescence comes out from the Invader, and he finds a double kill off, but he will end up going down to Pepto there as they now just clashing, skirmishing back and forth. If I'm still alive, if you can believe it, he's got like 15 health right now, and he's still holding on to that Death Blossom.
Right now, they could go to finish this kill. Ooh. No way to heal him up. Pepto getting very aggressive to chase that one with the cart still moving. So notice that whole fight, no matter how long it went, the cart did not move for Toronto. SNHU pressured players who could keep it contested while stopping them from doing it themselves. But aggressive pulse getting slept. Is there the peel to keep them alive? Do they have anything? No, they can't make them get the Matrix there in time, and now they're going to find their way in.
Toronto will take control of the boss. Move it run back, but Muga just explodes. Osiren able to finish him off there. Death Blossom about to come in though, drops straight in, and with the Immortality Field going down, is going to find that double kill. Transcendence also comes out from one trick, which is not quite fast enough to keep his team alive, and now you see him immediately start repositioning to try and keep Consonuba alive, but as he gets antied, he is not going to stay up for long. SNHU getting sent back to the spawn room right now as Toronto take back control of the bot, start to make their way towards the first checkpoint. SNHU will be able to answer this. They will be able to try and contest once again, and we're really just stuck in the middle of the map right now.
Yeah, this is what you see from a lot of push maps, this tug-of-war back and forth. The thing is, I don't know if they're going to be able to make it to contest early enough to deny this checkpoint, but they denied it from themselves. They got off cap. They might actually be able to touch, but Pepto not in the position to do it. They all took through Mega instead of staying split, so they couldn't get isolated here. Huge pressure on this Ana. This is exactly who I said they had to pressure. Only the nade keeping him alive, and there's no other way to heal him. This butt scratch buying enough time for them to stabilize here and potentially stop guard.
Osiren just cooking Invader down there. Now it's just Muga trying to escape in time. He will get taken down. If I'm right in the middle of everyone, will end up falling, and SNHU will take control of the bot. Toronto did get those forwards, though, so they're going to be able to take a fight much sooner than SNHU have been experiencing lately. They're going to be right here already, so they are immediately going to be clashing.
And already playing kind of in a good spot. And also a bit of a pivot from Toronto. They want to match the Soldier, and I'm not quite sure why. Weird thing to say, but I feel like are they running Soldier to heal, field, peel for their Ana? I'm not exactly sure why, but they just want to get some more forward movement here. There's a potential pulse bomb finding too early.
Really nicely done from Pepto there, now moving in on the backline. They're trying to harass these supports, but let's see, the ultimate come out from Muga. They're trying to do as much damage as they can to the entire team. He is just siphoning up that health. Pepto forced to run away with the rest of his team, and that is going to be an opportunity for Toronto to push SNHU back, force them to regroup, and start to pick up some more progress here and bring things back over towards SNHU's side of the map.
They should be able to stop checkpoint, though, just because Biso and Pepto survived. I could absolutely see Pepto going for that contest early. Consonuba is already here, but they actually don't go for it. They want to set up instead. They're playing a little slower than we'd expect. I think because they just expect chaos from Toronto. It's how they've been playing all game, and right now they want to play as cool, calm, and collected as they can.
Constantine trying to keep Osiren alive here with that DM as he starts to push forward here. Muga, Nemesis form just punching straight through that defense matrix. It's just so much damage. Mortality field ends up going down, but Constantine does stay alive. His healers keeping him up. Abiso has to worry about Iflame right on top right now, but he will be able to get back to his team. Does have Death Blossom up, so he did not want to die right there by any means. Zenith's able to take down Pepto with those Helix rockets, and now Iflheim's going in for potentially a very, very scary play as he goes in on the backline. Transcendence comes out, though, completely countering it. Defense matrix as well. That was also, I mean, just really, really great counter there from SNHU, but still not finding too much value as Zenith comes through with the Tactical Visor. That's 2 dead, 3 dead for SNHU. Constantine DMEC'd will end up going down next. It's just Pepto, the sole survivor from SNHU, as he falls on back to the rest of his team. Toronto barreling through.
Going to get a lot of positioning here, and here's the pivot that I wanted to see a while ago. I really think this way they will mitigate a little bit of what the Reaper is going to be able to make Rush play this comp. They also see that he's always playing above them, but now taking the ego duel almost here, forcing Wraith, has Moira with them, but they've abandoned Pepto for this fight. Is he still going to take this? Wraithing back to his team, calling the flank from them. They just have to be aware. Annihilation and Window both being spent at the same time. Up front, and it'll find Muga.
Really nicely done. Now moving in on the backline here. Iflheim in Wraith form, very, very low. Can Pepto finish this off? Does pop his own Wraith, and Constantine coming through on the Reinhardt, able to just swat him out of the way. SNHU take control of the bot. A big composition pivot from both teams here right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing Orisa now coming out from them and now trapping that soldier in, getting a huge potential delay, and now Pepto might just start trying to do the same thing that Iflheim was doing, just playing in just off angles and moving fast enough that they can't really deal with them. Soldiers behind. If they go really fast, it could work out. Pepto getting antied, but finding one in that backline. An ult trade for a life caught here on this flank. Are they aware that Iflheim's coming around? They have to have someone keeping their head in a swivel.
If they're not aware, that could be really scary real quick. He's so close to picking up Death Blossom. I mean, he has it now as he starts to move in. Immortality Field already put down is scary, and Wraithing in, about to pop out. Shield going up, trying to keep him up. He will be able to pin him, but not able to kill him there. Constantine one trick, Osiren, all fall Biso. Next up, SNHU forced back once again. Toronto doing a great job at stabilizing these team fights before anything goes bad.
They're just constantly collapsing on all sides on Sapphire. And Sapphire aren't able to get these kills fast enough because the only person they can kill is Ana. Ana just nades herself, lives for a second longer. If she gets even a little bit of peel from Moira, she will not be killable, really. So it's tough for them, but I feel like this is the comp to succeed with, right? They're not going to die as quickly, and they're already getting off-angled here. It's a 3-2. They just have to pick a side to go on here. They're just picking an Orisa who's going to soak all of this damage and waste their time here. Whole time going so deep as Shatter finds the Reaper.
Zenith in the back with this visor is going to be able to take down 3, now 4 as he continues to push through Toronto. They're in danger of threatening, finishing out this map right now where they're at. SNHU really need to hit back hard. They've got some ultimates. That Blizzard from Osiren can really try and force them off here, but Toronto have no reason to commit to holding on to the card if a Blizzard comes out.
No, they could just leave. They could just leave. They're not concerned about having to stay on, but I bet you Blizzard is still what they're going to start things off with here as Zenith gets to take some poke but does not die. Huge ante on them that they will be able to survive thanks to their cooldowns here, but now Soldier selecting so many side fights. Here comes that Blizz, but I don't think anyone's going to get frozen right away.
Muga will be able to escape from it, but that did lead to that Ana dying there, but we'll see how much value they can really find off it. Muga not able to die, and that's going to be Constantine just way too far forward. He's taken out there on the charge. Zenith now looking to take down Biso, will be able to. Pepto trying to contest around the bot, but now has to worry about the high ground. He cannot take that uphill fight. One trick now starting to fall back here.
There's 10 seconds left. I mean, I guess it's on Tracer now to contest this. Zenith doesn't have heal pad or doesn't want to use it. He gets taken down. Who's contesting card? It is going to be One Trick. He doesn't have time to get recall. They just had too much burst damage there. Forcing them out. I like this aggression. Hitting them easy. No sleep here. Won't get caught by that martyrdom, and now soaking up all the support aggro in the back.
Yeah, really, just completely wedging himself right in the middle of the team. And now Muga is a little bit isolated. He will get 2 players on his team over to relocate with him, but Pepto starting to move in, does have Death Blossom ready, maybe looking for an opportunity to really set this off, going to teleport in, and we're going to see it come on out as he drops in, takes down Roast Chicken, now looking to finish off Muga here, but he will get healed back from his support, starting to come on through. This is going to be a big overtime for SNHU as they try and push to finish out this map. They cannot leave the cart right now, and we're going to see Zenith in the backline with Coalescence as well. You just cannot keep up against this damage, and with every member of SNHU, except for Biso, going down, but he's nowhere nearby. That's going to be a 2-2 set now as Toronto take Esperanza. This is neck and neck.
Yeah, right there. And it is just SNHU constantly getting caught off guard by these hyper-aggressive fights. I mean, it is just them sending people around them to shoot them in the back and them getting stalled out too much by what's in front. I don't know if that means they maybe have to pivot to something like... I haven't really played a lot of Zen on the other side. Maybe D-Ball come out just to harass and play something like Ball, Tracer, and then Cassidy with a backline and keeping them alive. There's a few things that they can do just to live through all that pressure. Because Toronto they're just holding W on a flank and stalling them with jab spin or stalling them with nade or stalling them asleep in front and making it impossibly hard for them to deal with it. Because the people that are flanking are hitting every shot.
It is really scary to see them on push in particular, just because it is such an open map. It's not attack and defend. It's just like control. So it is just there's no place where they're supposed to be. They can be anywhere, which means they are constantly flanking. And they really did a great job at taking advantage of how many sort of winding side path Esperanza has, and they were able to get like perfectly behind Sapphire every time. So really scary performance from them there on this map. I'm excited to see what our control map is going to be.
So our Antarctic was banned. We picked Ilios.
Yeah.
So now what's left is Oasis, Lijiang, Nepal. They get to ban a map. Does production know what it is? What is banned?
We don't know yet. They're taking their time. They're taking their time.
They're thinking about it. I mean, it's the last map of a series that would potentially, if SNHU were to lose this, they would beat an undefeated team, right?
Yes.
As of right now, because SNHU is 3-0, and it would bring Toronto to 2-2. And again, I think they had their record, if you look at it on paper, they beat a team that has been struggling. Mm-hmm. They lost to a team that is looking to be the best in the division, and then they forfeited a game.
Yeah.
There's no information there. There's no data. You literally had no clue what they were running just on paper looking at that. So I think the information they were able to get, zero, they were able to get a bit more on us. I want to see what they try to ban for us. I wouldn't be shocked to see them ban. They already banned Antarctic. They don't have to ban it again. Okay, someone should tell them that they don't have to ban Antarctic.
Still banned.
Someone should tell them that they don't have to reban Antarctic.
Got an update from the front lines here. Antarctic is still not an option.
If so, here's how it works in NECC. If you ban a map for control and then you loop back to map 5, back to control, right? Still not pickable. It does not re-enter the picking pool. They get another ban now. So Nepal could be issues with junk on the enclosed maps. He's good on all 3 maps, I would say there. Could also him a Reaper. You could go to Oasis. Very open. But they also give them space to flank, right, with Soldier.
Yeah.
Could go Lijiang.
It's most balanced.
Might be the well, what's the pick, excuse me? We have the map preview. Let's see what they picked. Lijiang. Okay, I think that makes the most sense. That does make it is open enough. You say, okay, we might have to take the L in control center if they're just that good at playing these chaotic close-range comps, but we can play something flyer-oriented or poke-oriented on guard or ball, which is something that they haven't really known how to do with yet, or haven't played a comp that's really good into yet.
Yeah.
And then Night Market, we can turtle up again. No, they struggled to deal with the turtle drastically on map 1, but they also didn't have Ippelheim on map 1.
Yeah, I'm interested to see exactly how this plays out. Let's go ahead and hop into game. Definitely, I mean, this is the final round here. So this is going to be all or nothing for both of these teams. And we were talking earlier about Lijiang, a very balanced map. All 3 of these maps are going to be played very differently. So I think this is a very fitting end to the set to have this kind of just grab bag of compositions, which we have been seeing across the last 4 maps.
Yeah, we'll see how they choose to approach this. This is Garden. This is the map that, on paper, how they've been playing could be the best for SNHU, and they are going to come out with Ball. Okay. As expected, honestly, and it's an interesting comp from Toronto Silver. They're going to have Moira Reaper playing on the flank again, and then they're going to have the Symmetra, but that Symmetra could just get flattened. Honestly, that's kind of if I am clairvoyant, right, and I can see the enemy comp, I'm thinking, all right, that's got to be who we're looking at. But Kiriko Zen, not as fast as you'd probably want to be. Pepto is probably going to go Tracer. I assume we're going to see just Osiren playing with Biso.
If Invader go to Lucio.
Yeah, he's going to switch back now.
No.
You speed out of spawn.
True. Yeah, you're right.
But now they're there. It doesn't really work with TP, though, so I'm not sure why they did it. But they're still getting beaten because they had Lucio on the other side. Still, Constant Noob here putting early pressure on. They just have to watch for these flanks, but it's a 5-man. It's almost like old school Overwatch 1 6-man right now. Biso and Osiren are going to have to be playing on a razor's edge. So careful this map.
Zenith's going to take down Pepto, though. That's big. Constant Noob just mowing through the entirety of Toronto, but pushing them into Sapphire. That's 3 dead. 4 dead now as one trick ends up falling. Constant Noob is trying to get back to spawn right now, trying to lift the long hand. If he dies here, it's going to be really unfortunate, but he is perfectly fine right now. Toronto are going to get first dibs on the point. They're going to start to build up some percentage. SNHU, it's up to them to really break through this defense.
And they're going to do it with a completely different comp. They're going to switch to that rush comp immediately, switch all 5, and hey, that fight was over so fast.
Yeah, they didn't lose any ult charge.
They didn't lose any ult charge, courtesy of the new, relatively new changes. I would not be shocked to see Constant Noob actually just charge it. But they're going to go white instead. They do not want to approach from that direction. They're going to pivot all the way around over here, trying to play rush into this. They know they can't really get flanked as easily here. They wall off one side, knowing that they limit the amount of approach options that Toronto has.
I like this approach a lot. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially for Reinhardt here. But Zenith's starting to go in on the backline. Osiren trying to find as much as he can through this bubble. We're seeing the charge come out. And Muga's going to end up going down as Constant takes down the other tank. Now just mowing through Iffelheim here, trying to find Invader as well. Trying to take down... it does find Invader, trying to take down Roast Chicken. And it's just going to be Zenith left, pops the blade, trying to take down Constant, but only has 100 health left. But this is a very dry blade. He is able to finish off that kill. It's now just 1 versus 1 against one trick. And Muga shows up in time for Toronto to hold on to the point.
Backpack.
Yeah.
There is no nicer way to say that. Zenith just backpacked that. There was, I think, every single kill in that fight went up on the Genji doing a dry blade against players that normally would be able to deal with him, but high pressure situation, very tough to mitigate that blade. They slowed him down, but just couldn't stop him without the healing that they had. They're making it to point now. You're a very loud call from them as they go for an aggro beat. They can't stop Lucio from getting it, and they negate the pin as well. A second ult, though, coming out from Toronto early.
Coalescence trying to take down Roast Chicken, will be able to. A double kill as Zenith also ends up falling. Constant starting to charge in, will be able to pin Iffelheim. That was sick. And now moving in on Invader to try and cap this point, pushing him off. It's just one player left, and with Muga down, SNHU are finally going to get control of the point. 91% for Silver, but this is a long way to go.
But now look at their swaps.
Yeah.
Look. You were looking at me, I wasn't sure if you were looking at that. That is a hard comp pivot. Lots of shield damage, but also giving them a clear target. I think it's Junk. I think the target is clearly Junkrat. They're going to move as a unit. Looks like they're going into white, but they have to watch this off angle. So far, very low to the ground, actually. If they go in fast enough, and that's exactly what they're going to do, use the wall to isolate, pressure this Arisha, pressure this BAP, and immediately find those kills.
Pepto starting to move in, is able to take down Muga. Biso will end up falling as they trade that one out. Now trying to go in on Roast Chicken. They're all contained indoors right now, which is very, very scary against SNH's composition. We'll be able to take down Roast Chicken. It is just Zenith. I think he's still stuck inside. He's actually getting just out now. Trying to get back over to his team. SNHU hold on. They don't lose the hill there, and that is really, really big. Toronto tried to play super fast in there, but SNHU did a great job at stabilizing and holding on.
Well, that's how you have to play in Sapphire Mercy, right? Either you sniper with hit scan, if you can, it's not guaranteed, or you just kill everyone else in the map so fast that they can't do anything.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to do, and it looks like maybe walking into it again, but no shield. They're going to have to slow down. This could be so bad for SNHU, especially with Barrage coming in, but they counter it.
Ooh. Pepto starting to go in. The Death Blossom does find Zenith, but nothing else as he starts to charge in on the backline now. Looking to try and take down Iffelheim, taking a lot of damage in the process, but will be able to finish him off. Muga now, no Javelin spin, is completely open to this oncoming fire, and Pepto's going to be able to shred him down. 70% for SNHU as they continue their upward climb. Very, very close to finishing out this first round here as Silver. They really need to make a play for this point right now, and they are going to see a little bit of a switch off of the Para over to Echo. Maybe try and find a little bit more of a power play potential on that ultimate.
They have to be so careful not to just get executed by Echo here, especially One Trick, who has that beat, cannot Ajax while using it, because that will be a disaster here. They're looking to see where they want to put this. They're so split between directions right now. They don't have a clear way to go, but they walled them off window now into this Orisa. She jab spins it, delayed here, forcing them in, doing so much damage.
Another amplification matrix coming out from Invader on the other side, but he's going to end up getting taken down there. Riptire does come through, does take down Osiren, but Zenith goes down. Overtime ticking down. Iffelheim dead. It's just Muga on point along with Roast Chicken, but he gets taken out. Terror Surge comes through, but they're just going to wait it out. Biso gets caught by that, but overtime ticking down. SNHU are going to take round one.
He doesn't get caught. He walks into it. That was a full charge thing. Oh, I got to watch that later. With him behind me.
Exactly.
I need to sit right next to him and watch that.
They knew they were going to win that round. You can just walk into that.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I knew that they were going to lose that Esperanza. So, not last one, but last week. And they won that. So I think they should never leave anything up to chance here. This is not where SNHU want to be. Control Center, not the map they were hoping to see, but probably happy to see it not as a decider.
That's true.
If they had gone into Night Market and lost it there, they would be going into this like, But we're seeing potentially something interesting. Pure chaos. I mean, this would be all over the place if they commit to this. Doom. No Rhine. Drop the Doom. Don't want to run the Monkey. Don't want to run the ball. We're playing Doomfist. We're going for CC, going for executes with this damage, and maybe having someone else that can go in with that Genji, but already early controlling that PC room. Toronto has to start surrounding or they're going to get run down. Yeah, they got run down.
Iffelheim goes down. Siren's starting to move in now with the rest of his team. Roast Chicken's going to end up falling. SNHU with a great opening fight. They will lose those Siren, but they're already up one right now. Muga right in the middle of things. That power block. Zenith goes down. Great comms there. Muga ends up falling to that pin. And now SNHU just cleaning things up as they take first control of the point.
See, Toronto, they saw that there was Junk and Sim, and then they said, guys, I really don't think we should go in there. And then they waited, like, maybe we go main, and then they went main, but by the time they said that, it was already too late. They just got amped on, they got executed in main, not with the way they wanted to do it, and now random spam gets them a kill. This is going to be the int button that SNHU were waiting for, plus the Streaper doesn't have TP, could find more, forcing Wraith out, but not going to go past this choke point, just going to set up their turtle a little bit more forward. If they go on the far right, they'll be able to beat them, so not too concerned about that, and Pecto finds another random spam kill.
That is huge. They're just continuing to get caught out by these, and it's really, really hurting them here as SNHU just find even more and more ground and time. Every single time they're able to stagger them just slightly with this.
Yeah, finding those constantly. And now, Toronto going to take the long route around. Are they going to try to cut them off? It looks like they might. Everyone's stuck in this door. Can they keep Kaltanoob alive through this pressure that's coming in? Here comes the anti. He could still die, but they use the projected barrier to keep him up.
It's a lot of damage going there onto Muga. He's supposed to dive in, but he will get taken out there by the entire team collapsing on him. Toronto are still struggling to break through this front door right here. They tried to go through the side door, but SNHU just matched them and were able to put so much more damage in that room right now. We're going to see the swaps come out and see the Orisa come out from Toronto. Something that's been working out a little bit better for them here, as well as the Echo. Invader gets caught out, though. Siren picking up that opening pick once again. Biso has Amp Matrix, going to go ahead and pop that up. Earth Shatter comes out, finds two. He's able to take down Zenith, trying to go in for Roast Chicken. Does get slept in a pretty unfortunate position right now, but the rest of his team is still out there right outside of their spawn. 75% right now. They're able to take down Roast Chicken before he's able to get back into spawn. 80% now for SNHU. They are closing in on the end right now.
Are they aware of this person on the fly? I mean, someone died to Niflheim, right? Or Iffelheim, right?
I think so.
They know that he's behind, so they might just, you might just see them disengage, especially not having Biso there. I think they might be playing a little greedy, hoping for some random spam kills again, but Junkrat, once again up top, here comes the tire. Are they ready for it? They don't find, he just shields it. They live in Osiris too.
That is so huge, and Osiris will get slept in the background here, but Roast Chicken finding that kill. 3 dead for Toronto right now. Iffelheim taking a lot of damage right now as Muga starts to move in, getting onto the point now. On ball is nano boosted, but not going to last too long here as he's right in the middle of the entire team, but just getting shredded by everyone. He gets pinned off the point. SNHU close out the set, 3-2, taking Li Zhong. It's always so close. These last 2 weeks have been so close, so down to the wire, but SNHU, they are doing a great job just pushing through.
Yeah, fantastic job of kind of just adapting on that last map, and also to Toronto too. I mean, they were doing some stuff I have not seen before, and SNHU hasn't either, which is probably why it was as effective as it was. They made Moira work at a fairly high level. I am very impressed with how they play here, especially coming in with literally no intel. I mean, there was nothing that we knew going in for this. They came with something very unique, and they made it work. I respect having a style that distinct.
A lot of credit, I think, to the IGLs on Sapphire here, and to just the overall team. A lot of great adaptation there, and really doing a great job at just focusing on exactly what Toronto are doing, because that was a really tricky composition to go up against, and on some really tricky maps that really favored them there.
Yeah, there's definitely a kind of have to put themselves in some tough places with map picks, but I think it ended up working out. And I'm assuming someone's getting sent up for an interview. Okay, cool. We have Kaltanoob actually coming up. First time on stream if you want to talk to him. This is a surprise to production. I'm going to run back there and give you his full name because I don't think you have
legal name. How's it going? Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
That was
okay.
Yeah,
a little more stressful than we anticipated.
Really close set overall. I think a lot of stuff there really came down to I mean, Muga was giving you guys a hard time on some maps there.
Yeah.
As tank, how do you kind of adapt to that situation where you're like, okay, the current tank I'm playing is not working out super well. They're
honestly
counterpicking me. What's the thought process there to stop yourself from getting caught up?
I'm gonna be honest, I think we kind of overthought it a lot of the time. Like, I think the Diva was working, but like, as you saw in the last map, we just played the Rhine comp, and like, I just think it's better against what they were playing.
Yeah.
Like, I think we were focusing too much on their individual heroes as opposed to their team idea. And I think once we swapped to what we're good at, it just was way better.
Reinhardt is, I mean, I'm going to guess he's your favorite hero. I've seen you play him
That's
a
actually
ton.
not true. It's Winston, but
Okay, yeah, that's
Rein's
actually a
good right
pretty
now,
common
so he's
opinion.
fun.
I hear that a lot from everyone on the team. But for Reinhardt, has been playing a lot recently on the on a lot of our sets, and he just got adjusted lately. Is that the main reason where you're really picking him up, or is it just kind of a shift in play style?
I mean, it's both. Like, we honestly don't play it as much as we need to, but like, a big reason you play the BAP Rhine is that Window Fire Strike now one-shots again.
Yes, yeah.
It's really good. The pin cooldown, I mean, like, I kind of went crazy with the pins this game. Like, you can just kind of feed more.
Yeah.
Just play, like, you can play Rhine how you want to play Rhine, pretty much.
There was some crazy moments where we were calling out up here on the desk. We were like, I cannot believe Constanoob is alive right now. He is in the middle of their entire team, and he's got Biso and One Trick that are just putting everything into him, keeping him alive against all odds.
Those guys are good at what they do. So.
I know. I think that particularly with Reinhardt, you really get to see supports shine as well. Just because Reinhardt's a character that is enabled so much by his supports. And so it really got to see a lot of that tonight, which was really interesting and really fun. I think that's all the questions I got for you. Thanks for coming up and doing an interview.
No
Congratulations on the win.
Thank
really
you.
Close set. I think enjoy the rest of the night. Enjoy your relaxation after a very tense set.
I've decided I'm going to save the players from having to sit here while you do your ending call.
I know. Last time it happened, they just kind of sat
They
here
literally every single time we've interviewed someone, your ending call has been you just like
yeah.
because they don't know what to do. I mean, that's what I'm going to do, but at least I'm used to doing it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's all for us tonight. A really great set once again. A pretty big turnout in the arena as well. Our first time having a dog show up for one of the one of the
shout
games.
outs. Dogs
shout out
love
to the
Overwatch.
dog. That's Daisy in the crowd right now. Awesome. I don't see him right now, but I'm sure they're somewhere around here. Yeah, that's all for us tonight. If you want to see any more from us, you can check out our Twitter at SNHU Esports. You'll find everything on there from match clips, match updates, events, anything going
Weekly
on.
highlights that we have now.
That too. Yeah, we just started uploading weekly highlights, so you'll be able to catch all those on there as well. Pretty fun little montages. I'm a big fan of those. I really like seeing those come out. Tomorrow, we normally have Rocket League, but due to a reschedule, we've got League of Legends. We're going to see our League of Legends team make their ECC run, so definitely be sure to come in and check that out tomorrow, especially if you need more League of Legends, because last night, I mean, pretty good League of Legends games, but I want to see even more. So hopefully we're going to see some really good games at 8 p.m. But yeah, that's all for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for everyone coming into the arena. We'll see you back tomorrow night for League of Legends. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day.